way to go spoiling things, DC. If you guys know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I get it, but at the same time, no, I don't. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods was directed by David F. Sandberg, and it stars Zachary Levi and Lucy Liu. In here, beginning to find ways to control and use their powers even better, the Shazam family has been going around as heroes. But when a threat emerges from another realm of the old gods, soon a battle will take place on Earth, and the family must come together if they're to win. So I think something we need to address very quickly is just the fact that the DCEU is coming to a close as we knew it, and they'll have to reboot subsequently with James Gunn's DCU. And this movie, I feel like, is one of those films of the DCEU that's just kind of trapped in this in limbo place between the two of them, where it's trying to set stuff up because it was shot before James Gunn came aboard, but it's never going to really pay off because James Gunn is on board. So it's just kind of like a weird movie. It does a lot better if you watch it as just a standalone film. And for the most part, this movie's pretty good. It's by no means as good as the first Shazam. I like that one pretty much. You know, I'm not a massive fan of either of these Shazam movies, but I find them to be enjoyable. They're good entertainment. This one's a little less so. I think it cranks up the comedy in here a little more than the first one did, which is one of the reasons I like this one a little less. I was hoping they would go the other route and crank up a little bit more of the drama and the gritty and the realism. But, you know, that's just my own personal preference. Zachary Levi in here is, once again, fantastic. I actually think this kind of character they're having him replace Teenage Billy suits him a little better than when he played the kid. The kid one was funny, but however, the situations they have him in for teenager, he seems a little more comfortable playing that, and it feels more like I'm generally watching the two as one than I did in the first movie. Overall, again, this movie has just some, you know, basic plot. It's nothing really huge. This movie's by no means rewriting the superhero genre. This is, I feel, like a pretty forgettable movie. You'll most likely watch this, enjoy yourself, and probably in like 3 or 4 weeks you'll have forgotten most of everything about Shazam Fury of the Gods. It's gonna fall under what I call the Birds of Prey category, where realistically there's just not much to stick with you after the film. This movie also has some pretty average visual effects. Like, there are shots where they're inconsistent, because there's shots where you look at this movie and it looks fantastic, and I'm like, wow, that looks great, but then you'll see a shot 35 seconds later and it looks horrible, and it looks like a bunch of green screen with CGI everywhere, and it doesn't look like they're interacting with anything that's remotely real. And I don't really consider this to be a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but they put it in the trailer spot. But if you want to know absolutely nothing about a potential surprise in the movie, skip past this part, maybe like 30 seconds. But there was a Wonder Woman cameo, which was basically a payoff of a joke earlier in the movie, and it made me happy to see her in the movie. I was really happy because at least that's going to be like her one last time in DC so far. But me being the massive Henry Cavill fan I am, makes me wonder why they couldn't just leave some of his cameos in Flashpoint. But that's just me thinking off on a different tangent. Another thing that really worked in this movie was the score. I think it's way better than the first movie. The first movie is far more comedic. This one actually feels very heroic. The costumes they gave them in this movie also are quite the upgrade for the characters. They don't look cheap anymore. They don't look like you went into a party store. Like, the first one's just, I don't know, they look a lot of foam muscles, and I didn't like them a lot, and the colors were all weird. These look way better than those initial ones that they had used. Another thing, the villains in here. They are fantastic. I really like them. They were compelling, and their drama and their more Shakespearean attitude is what really, I think, grounds this movie a little more. Rachel Zegler plays one of them. She's from West Side Story, and I'm glad to see that she's still in things, because, you know, I haven't heard much about her since West Side Story. I'm happy to see she's still being cast, especially in a major DC film like Shazam. Again, issues I have, like I said, I think the comedy is a little too much in here, and this movie's just by the numbers, you know. It just kind of plays out, and that's it. You know, there's not much. It follows about all the beats you'd think it would, and that's probably its biggest defense, is there are pretty much no surprises. There's no chances really taken. There's nothing exciting. There's nothing new. You're just watching a superhero movie. And it's more family-oriented, which is something I did like, but still, along the way, I couldn't help but to just kind of be like, in some parts, I didn't care, because it was just going on, and I felt too relaxed. I didn't feel like there was any imminent threat, but that's kind of the thing that these movies are going for, but it just doesn't personally work for me. Personally, I'd say check out Shazam! Fury of the Gods. It's a good time. It's some fun film for the whole family, so if you have kids, you could take them to see this probably. It's just a really simplistic film. It's just supposed to be popcorn entertainment, and for the most part, does its job. I'm going to give Shazam! Fury of the Gods a 6 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you all next time.